All right, well, welcome back to our Fireside Chat. I finally get to turn the tables on my good friend here, Zach Coker. Usually he's drilling me with questions. But we have a very important election coming up this year, and we want to get the facts straight out to everyone so everyone knows what to expect and what they can anticipate as we roll through this process. It's long, it's drawn out, it's complicated, but it's most important because it's a democratic process and it's how we roll at District 142, and we want to make sure we do it 100% right. So I'm going to turn the heat to Zach Coker, and we're going to talk about how this process works. And I'm going to start with my opening question. Mr. Coker, can you run through the time frame of what the election looks like?
Yeah, of course, John. Thank you for having me on the Fireside Chat and for putting me under the microscope here. You know, I didn't realize that it was going to be turning it on me, but you know, it's always an important thing to talk about elections because the democratic process is the foundation of the IAM. We are the most democratic organization in the union movement, and we're proud of that. Our district officers election is coming up this year. We have all positions running: PDGC, secretary, treasurer, general chairs, VPs, trustees. The whole lot is going to be running up for election this year. It's, like John said, a long process. It's not exciting, but it is necessary. The very first step of the process has already started. We are in motion, which is notifying the locals of the upcoming election with this official circular from the district. We sent those electronically to each local officer, along with the hard copy mailed to the locals as well.
And that took place in May, right?
First week of May, yep.
Okay.
This entire process, for those who don't know, is outlined in the bylaws from start to finish. It details every aspect of the election that we have to run. We are mandated to run because the members told us this is how they want us to run the election when we did the convention, and they voted to approve the bylaws. So, you know, for anybody out there who's saying we need to have an election run this way, electronically, whatever, you know, as much as I'm sure you, because you're a big advocate for everything electronic, would like to run it that way, the membership told you that this is how they want you to run it.
Absolutely, and we just had our convention, and those bylaws were approved at the convention, and we have to do what the membership requests. So we are following that process.
100%, and we're going to continue following it until the membership tells us otherwise. So the next step in the process is we have to get all the information from the locals as far as where the election will be held, all three steps: nomination, endorsement, and general. We also need information for the absentee ballots, the P.O. boxes that they go into. That's all really, really important. We have to vet that information, make sure it's accurate and up to date, and that goes through the first week of June. We then take all that information and we compile it, and we have to put out our official notice to the members. So we have to send out a letter notifying the members of the election to every active, retired, life, exempt member out there. We're talking probably 50,000 letters going out in the mail.
So it's really important that our members have their mailing information up to date with the company and with the union so that we get the letter to them. And if we had one issue last year of a letter not showing up or being returned. If you're having a problem, you don't receive your letter, please reach out to us, because if you don't let us know, we can't let you know, right? So let us know your address, make sure that information is correct. And when we do send the letters out, if you don't get one, let us know and we'll make sure we get you one. Our goal is to make sure you participate in this election because it's important.
Yep. And this election is an all-hands-on-deck situation. As part of the election process, the PDGC appoints 3 tellers. We have selected our tellers, one from each of the 3 major carriers in District 142, one off American, one off Alaska, and one off of Southwest. They are, for lack of a better term, a dream team of elections. I feel very confident that this team will be able to do the right thing and get this thing going in the right direction. So we will notify each of our members, active and retired, 50,000 letters going out in the mail. As John said, make sure your information is up to date, because we can only control what we can control, but we need a little bit of help from you guys as well. After the notice comes the nomination round. That will be in the first week of September. At each local, you can also nominate absentee as well. We are going to be putting out information in the trifold about how you can make your nominations absentee.
And there's a set date and time for that process, correct?
Correct, yeah. So to submit absentee requests, whether it's for the nomination round, the endorsement round, or the general election, all those absentee requests have to be in within 15 days, by 15 days before the actual nomination or election day. So that timeline is also spelled out very directly in the bylaws, and we follow
Something important about absentee ballot requests, you have to put them in your own envelope and mail them. You can't collect a whole bunch of them. You know, there's been people saying in the past that there's people running around throwing them in a big bag and sending them in. That can't happen. They have to arrive at the district PO box separately, and we respond to each and every one of them as they come through. So if we get a bulk envelope full of them, we can't respond to them.
And that's all mandated by the Department of Labor. We would have to send those back. Now, one thing that we did do last year in the special election that we're going to continue this election is the electronic request for an absentee ballot. Working with the district communications team, we have that set up. It works very, very well. We had a number of absentee ballot requests in the special election that far surpassed. I think it was 5 times the number of requests we had come in electronically in the special election than we had in the election in 2022. So electronic is definitely the way to go. We all recognize that, but we can't just flat out change any process we want. We can only enhance the process that exists.
Correct.
So we do have the electronic absentee ballot request, and all that's going to be in the trifold in the notice of elections that we send out to the membership in July. So make sure you read that thoroughly. Make sure you get your requests in on time, because it's very important. Moving on, we'll look at all the nominations after that date in September. We'll determine if any endorsement votes are needed. The short of it is, if there are more nominations than there are positions available from a certain local, that particular local will have to run an endorsement vote just in the frame of that local.
What qualifies someone as for an endorsement vote? What do they have to do to get to that point?
So to receive an endorsement and be on the ballot for the general election in December, you have to win 4 endorsements from 4 separate locals, and that means you have to be nominated in 4 locals. And of course, if there's more nominations than there are positions available, then you'll have to go in a head-to-head election just in that local to receive that local's endorsement. Once you receive 4 local endorsements, then you are now eligible to move on to the general election, which is district-wide. If we get to that point, that'll be every person who's eligible and receive those 4 endorsements to run for that position.
Okay. The time frame between the endorsement runoff and then the general election is approximately?
Yeah, so just to kind of the high-level overview, we have our nominations in September. If there are any locals that have the need for an endorsement runoff, those will happen in October, and then the general election district-wide will be in December. Again, all those specific dates can be found in the District 142 bylaws. I highly recommend you checking those out. Those are on our website under the resources tab for any member to go on and look at. Again, please make sure that you go on, you read the bylaws, you read the election notice. That's all going to be coming your way. Read them thoroughly and do the right thing. Get out there and vote, because this organization is run by the membership, and we need the membership to speak loudly and resoundly about who they want representing them for the next 4 years.
Very good. And obviously these dates are important. They're mandated by our bylaws. They're overseen by the Department of Labor. So we have to make sure we do everything right. And if we don't do something right, there is a process to appeal that. But all that takes time, energy, and money. So we do everything we can to make sure this process runs as smooth as practical. And we check for any flaws. And that testament goes to Zach and his team, the tellers that we appoint to the process. They make sure everything is done right. They do all the checks and balances, because all of this costs money, and the money we spend is dues dollars. So we certainly don't ever want to have to rerun an election, because it's very expensive. So we'll continue to do our due diligence to make sure we run the process complete and as fair and straightforward as possible. And as a district as a whole, we'll make sure the process runs smoothly.
Yep. And I'll just add on there, this will be our 3rd election in 4 years. I would say that we're very well equipped to do this. We have not had to have a rerun to this point, knock on wood.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. We have a great team in place, thanks to your leadership and the people you've appointed. I feel very confident that this will be another successful, smooth election, and the membership is gonna elect the people that they see wanting to represent them the next 4 years.
Excellent. Well, there you have it, right from the horse's mouth. The guy that runs the show. We're going to have a good election, a fair election, and we want everyone to participate. And thanks for your time.
Thank you.